Have you ever heard the story of the lost Confederate gold? It's a tale packed with mystery, desperation, and a treasure hunt that continues to this day. Grab your popcorn because we're diving deep into one of American history's most fascinating unsolved cases. So picture this. It's April 1865. The Civil War is ending. The Confederate capital, Richmond, Virginia, is about to fall to Union forces. In a last-ditch effort, Confederate President Jefferson Davis and his cabinet flee the city, and they don't leave empty-handed. They pack up the entire Confederate treasury, a massive hoard of gold, silver, and coins. This wasn't just pocket change. We're talking about an estimated $500,000 at the time, which would be worth tens of millions today. This treasure caravan, loaded onto a special train, snaked its way south, always just one step ahead of the advancing Union Army. Their goal was to regroup, possibly escape to Mexico or even Cuba, and restart the Confederacy. But as they traveled, their situation grew more and more desperate. The government was collapsing, the army was surrendering, and their grand plan was falling apart. The official records say the money was used to pay the remaining Confederate soldiers and cover final government expenses. As the officials moved from Danville, Virginia to Greensboro, North Carolina, and then further south, the treasury began to shrink. Soldiers were given their final pay, a meager sum, but something. Bills were settled. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Not all of it was accounted for. By the time Jefferson Davis was captured in Irwinville, Georgia on May 10th, the vast majority of the treasure was gone. Poof. Vanished. The Union soldiers who captured him found only a few personal effects and a handful of coins. So, the million-dollar question, or rather the multi-million-dollar question is, what happened to the rest of it? This is where history ends and the legends begin. One of the most popular theories revolves around a place called Chenow Plantation in Lincoln County, Georgia. The story goes that the remaining treasure, about $140,000 in gold coins, was loaded into wagons and secretly buried on the plantation grounds for safekeeping. The plan was to come back for it later when things cooled down. But things never cooled down. The men entrusted with the secret either died, disappeared, or were captured. Over the years, countless treasure hunters have descended on this area, armed with maps, metal detectors, and a whole lot of hope. They've dug up fields, searched old wells, and followed every whispered rumor. But the main stash has never been found. A few gold coins have turned up here and there, just enough to keep the legend alive and fuel the fire of speculation. Another compelling theory points to the Knights of the Golden Circle, a secret society that supported the Confederacy. Some historians believe this group got their hands on the treasure, smuggling it out to fund a second civil war. They were well-organized, secretive, and had networks across the country. Did they spirit the gold away to Texas, or even Canada, to wait for the right moment to strike again? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but for some, it's the most plausible explanation. And then there are the simpler, perhaps more realistic explanations. Maybe the gold was simply divided up among the fleeing officials and soldiers. In the chaos of a collapsing government, with everyone trying to save their own skin, it's not hard to imagine people pocketing a share of the treasure and just quietly disappearing. A few coins here, a few gold bars there. Over time, it would all add up and vanish into the general population, spent on land, new businesses, or just a fresh start. Think about it. A soldier far from home with no future prospects is handed a bag of gold coins. Is he going to turn it in? Or is he going to use it to build a new life for his family? It's a morally gray area that makes this part of the story so human and understandable. For over 150 years, this mystery has captivated the American imagination. It's a real-life treasure hunt rooted in a pivotal moment of the nation's history. From farmers in Georgia suddenly paying off their debts in gold, to mysterious maps appearing in old family Bibles, the clues are everywhere and nowhere all at once. The strange case of the missing Confederate gold is more than just a story about lost riches. It's a story about the chaotic end of a war the desperation of a fallen government, and the enduring power of a good mystery. It reminds us that sometimes the most valuable parts of history aren't the things we can find, but the questions that remain unanswered. What do you think happened to the gold? Was it buried, stolen by a secret society, or did it just quietly melt back into the American economy? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. I'd love to read what you think. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today and exploring this incredible historical mystery. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video.